Hello everyone, and a very good morning to all of you, and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep, the most comprehensive preparation app for all exams. So as we all know, from Monday to Thursday 11 a.m. in the morning, we come up with the Hindu analysis. Today is 2nd April, and that is Tuesday, and we are here with the Hindu analysis of 2nd April. So let's start. Okay, am I audible? Okay, so these are the two articles: Center and Congress power over Kachatibu Island. So we'll be discussing this little bit. We'll not be going very much in the politics, but yes, some basic facts about this, you should be knowing it. The next is no coercive action over tax notices against Congress in view of polls, says IT department. So these two articles, we will be discussing it. Now, actually what happened was Kachatibu Island has been in the news because recently an RTI was filed by a Tamil Nadu BJP chief, and in response to that, actually some answer was given, and after that this actually started and all. So what is Kachatibu Island? पहले आप देख लेते हो. So this is the state of Tamil Nadu, and this is Sri Lanka, है ना? So यहाँ पे बीच में, so here you will find Kachatibu Island, and ये Tamil Nadu है, ये Sri Lanka है. Okay. Now, so in 1974, according to the allegation put by the Prime Minister or the S. Jaishankar, they said that the government has given it, ceding matlab given this island in 1974, and at that time actually Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister. Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister, so they gave this island to the Sri Lanka. That is what the Prime Minister has said on the issues and all. Okay, so hitting back and all. So these are political things. We are not going very much in detail. The Congress and TMJ raised the issue in Parliament as if they bear no responsibility and all. Correct. So this is now why this Kachatibu Island is important. The reason is actually from fishing point of view. ठीक है, मतलब जो fishing point of view से. Okay, why? Because I hope you are aware. So if the state of Tamil Nadu is having a long coast, so of course one of the prominent industry you will find it is fishing industry, right? The second thing, sometimes जो the near coast में उतना अच्छा fishing नहीं होता है. Sometimes you will not find. So slightly if you go away from the coast, offshore, you will find better fish, है ना? Actually, so that is why from fishing point of view it might be very important. Okay, so that is why it was in the news. So this is what the Prime Minister said, that DMK has done nothing to safeguard Tamil Nadu's interest and all. So these are, I mean, we are not going in that political debate. Okay. Whereas the opposition have said that no, in 2015 RTI response, the government has justified the circumstances under which India actually acknowledged that this small island should be given to Sri Lanka in 1974. तो यही सब है, इसके बारे में थोड़ा सा विकिपीडिया पे भी पढ़ लीजिएगा, है ना? So it was an uninhabited island, means no one was living there, yeah, and now it belongs to Sri Lanka. So इसमें जो लिखा हुआ है that it was earlier controlled by British Ceylon. So when Britain was actually controlling the Sri Lanka, it was controlled by that government, and the island is located somewhere around Rameshwaram. इसके थोड़ा सा आगे रामेश्वरम जो है ना, यहाँ पे कहीं पे रामेश्वरम you will find, जहाँ से APJ अब्दुल कलाम थे, रामेश्वरम, ठीक है? So very near to Rameshwaram you will find this, है ना? So in 1974 the Prime Minister Indira Gandhi accepted Kachatibu as Sri Lanka एरिया अंडर दिस एग्रीमेंट. ठीक है, ये भी पूछ सकते हैं कि ये कहां पर कौन से स्ट्रेट के बीच लाई करता है. सो ये वाला स्ट्रेट को हम लोग कहते हैं पार्क स्ट्रेट. ओके, द स्ट्रेट बिटवीन इंडिया एंड श्रीलंका इज कॉल्ड एज पार्क स्ट्रेट. दैट इज व्हाट यू शुड बी नोइंग इट. ठीक है, ओके. सो वी आर नॉट गोइंग इन दैट पॉलिटिकल डिबेट, बट एक फैक्ट्स पता होना चाहिए, जस्ट हैव एन आइडिया अबाउट इट. ओके, लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट वन. नो कोएर्सिव एक्शन. कोएर्सिव मतलब क्या होता है ना? यहाँ पे कोएर्सिव एक्शन का मतलब है कि ओवर द टैक्स नोटिसेस अगेंस्ट कांग्रेस इन व्यू ऑफ पोल्स, इन व्यू ऑफ इलेक्शन, सेज IT department. So IT department actually has issued a lot of notices and all, है ना? So amidst the allegation of tax terrorism. Tax terrorism मतलब ये होता है कि if income tax officials are I mean these are the words used, that harassing any person, so that is called as tax terrorism. These are the words, although there is no official term used, but sometimes these words are used by newspapers and all. So the Supreme Court में the Income Tax Department has said that they are not going to take any coercive step. So coercive step means, let's say, fine, penalty, or seizure of property, or arrest of people. So these all are actually come under a coercive step. And demands of approximately 3,500 crore raised in March, and also these are the things being talked about. So they have said that we will not take any of such measures or all. because the elections is near. So to ensure that the election should be free and fair and all. And that is what they have said. So the Solicitor General, Mr. Tushar Mehta, has said, because of course the Income Tax Department will convey to the lawyer and the lawyer will say in the court. So in front of Justice B.V. Nagaratna led bench, this is what they have said. Okay. Since the election is going on, we do not want any problem to arise for any political party and all. That is what they have said. And we will not take any coercive steps until it is being heard again on 24th July. Okay. So by 24th July, election would be over. So after that, they have said, so the next hearing might happen on 24th July. That is what the article says. So after that, we will take any measures or coercive step or something like that. Till 24th July, according to the Income Tax Department, they will not be taking any coercive step. Okay, so these are the things being talked about. So toll tax demand made of Congress 3567 crore and all. So ये सब है. So that is what you should be knowing it. एक और फर्स्ट पेज में आर्टिकल थी, इजरायली एयर स्ट्राइक डिस्ट्रॉयज इरानियन काउंसुलेट इन सीरिया. अब देखो, आप समझते हो कॉन्सुलेट, एम्बेसी, ये सब समझते हो, यू अंडरस्टैंड. देखो क्या होता है, जैसे ईरान एम्बेसी है ना, इज इन सीरिया. सो सीरिया की जो कैपिटल है, यू विल फाइंड इट डमास्कस. यहाँ पे एम्बेसी में अटैक किया गया. तो एक्चुअली होता क्या है, एम्बेसी इज जनरली इन कैपिटल सिटी एंड काउंसुलेट्स आर, यू विल फाइंड इट इन नॉन कैपिटल्स. जनरली ऐसे ही होता है. So sometimes both are used interchangeably, but that is actually the idea. So Iranian embassy होगी Damascus में, and that was attacked from Israel, है ना, Israel attacked it. तो ये लिखा हुआ है. So an Israeli air strike destroyed consular section of Iran's embassy in Syria, killing a senior Iranian military advisor among the others. So among others, one of the senior army officer or Iranian military officer advisor has died. The strike on Iranian consulate building could mark an escalation of Israel's military ongoing targeting Iranian military officials and allies. So escalate मतलब बढ़ सकता है. Escalate मतलब होता है increase the conflict, may increase the conflict. That is what it says. ठीक है ना. Israel, which really acknowledges such strikes, said it had no comment about the Syrian media reports and all. So, however, the report said that General Ali Reza Zahdi, one of the actually Iranian military officer advisor, has been killed in this and all. That is what you should be knowing, according to the news channel Al Mayadeen. Okay, so just have an idea about it. Okay, फिर एक और फर्स्ट पेज में आर्टिकल, न्यू रूल टू सेव फ्लाइज फ्रॉम टायरिंग वेट अबोर्ड एयरक्राफ्ट स्टक बाय डिलेज. अब देखो इसमें क्या हुआ था कि लास्ट ईयर स्पेशली दिस हैपेंस इन नवंबर दिसंबर, स्पेशली दिसंबर जनवरी में होता है, व्हेन देयर इज एक्चुअली फॉग. ठीक है, तो जब फॉग होता है सो द फ्लाइट्स गेट्स डिलेड, है ना. आपने देखा होगा दिसंबर जनवरी में काफी होता है, इवन ट्रेन्स आल्सो गेट्स डिलेड. उसमें क्या होता है, समटाइम्स द प्रॉब्लम अराइजेस इज दैट ना, कई बार क्या होता है, आपने देखा होगा फोटो में कि they are being brought up, they are sitting inside the plane for many hours, for many, है ना, and they are not able to say, of course they are not able to hold the patients and all. तो इसके लिए नया रूल बनाया गया. Sometimes what happens is there was I think a few months back there was some incidents where a person actually hit the pilot and all, and that is why a new rule has been made by the Bureau of Civil Aviation Security. ठीक है, so BCAS होता है, this is an agency, police agency, which actually provides security, ठीक है, to actually aviation, ना, civil aviation. ठीक है, so new standard of procedure has been launched to ensure that yes, the passengers have to suffer lesser and all. तो ये सब है, इसमें इतना डिटेल नहीं जाना है. This is what they have written it. है ना. फिर स्टेट्स में लिखा, सुप्रीम कोर्ट रेफर्स केरला गवर्नमेंट सूट ऑन नेट बोरिंग कैप ऑन टू 5 जज बेंच. सूट मतलब भाई पेटिशन, केस हैज बीन फाइल्ड और पेटिशन हैज बीन फाइल्ड. नेट बोरिंग कैप, कैप मतलब क्या होता है, कैप मींस अपर लिमिट. Okay, so basically this was in the news. In fact, yesterday also we discussed it, that center has made some upper limit, that beyond which actually the Kerala government cannot take loans. Now the Kerala government has filed a petition against this in the central in the Supreme Court, that this is against the federalism and all this thing. So the Supreme Court has referred this matter to 5-judge bench. In fact, for that actually the Kerala chief minister staged a protest at Jantar Mantar in Delhi, and also these things were in the news. Okay, yes. The 15th Finance Commission said the net borrowing ceilings for states at 3% of the GDP. तो ये सब है. अब इसमें लेट्स कम टू दैट, है ना. तो फेडरल फाइनेंस कमीशन में कहा कि नेट बोरिंग सीलिंग होना चाहिए 3% का ऑफ द जीएसडीपी, ग्रॉस स्टेट डोमेस्टिक प्रोडक्ट एंड ऑल ना. सो दैट इज व्हाई it was in the news. Now, okay, just before moving on. So these are some of our free session. 10th April को 6 PM पे we'll be having session with Alpa ma'am. Then 14th April को 11 AM in the morning we'll be having a scholarship test. If you qualify it, you will get up to 90% off. And from 12th April to 21st April, we are running an all India open mock. So do attempt it. Download our app, go to CLAT section and attempt those tests. This is talk to our counselor button, है ना. ये 2025 का comprehensive course है. 380 plus hours of live session, 300 plus recorded video is there. If you have any query, call on this number 9538895678. ये 2024 की test series है, ठीक है. So let's move on to editorial. The PMLA, a law that has lost its way. So it is written by PDT Acharya, a former, he's a former ex-Secretary General of Lok Sabha. PDT Acharya. अब देखो ये he is talking about PMLA. What is this? Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Money Laundering Act. So इसी के बारे में he has gone actually in detail, मतलब history पे भी गए हैं, but उतना हम थोड़ा बहुत history we will discuss it little bit. So in fact, the Enforcement Directorate has power under this. We have discussed it that Enforcement Directorate has power under PMLA, Prevention of Money Laundering Act, है ना. Then Fugitive Economic Offenders Act, ठीक है, इस तरह का. फिर Foreign Exchange Management Act. So these are the laws under which Enforcement Directorate has power, है ना. So recently, why it is a news? Because the Chief Minister of Delhi, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, has been arrested under the same law, Prevention of Money Laundering Act, by the Enforcement Directorate. So it is in the news. तो इसीलिए वो PMLA जो 2002 में पास हुआ था, इसी से रिलेटेड बात करें. अब देखो बेसिक जो आपको इतना तो पता होगा, मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग. लॉन्ड्रिंग मतलब क्या होता है? मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग का मतलब क्या होगा, आप इस तरह समझ लो कि जिसको लोग हिंदी में कहें कि पैसे का हेर फेर करना, है ना. सो एक्चुअली बेसिकली इट मीन्स इलीगल मूवमेंट ऑफ मनी, है ना. और लेट्स से मनी यूज्ड फॉर लेट्स से ड्रग्स crime, drugs trafficking or terror financing or something like that. Okay, so that's money laundering. सब में ये सब आता है, ठीक है. खैर, so he's going back actually in the past about the humongous value of black money generated through international drug trafficking pose a grave threat to Indian. हाँ, actually क्या होता है, बहुत a huge amount of illegal money is generated through drugs trafficking. देखो, in fact, drugs trafficking is considered as a security threat. Why drugs trafficking is considered as a security threat? Because of course it will destroy the youths of the country. तो youth बर्बाद हो जाएंगे ना. Of course, it's of course a serious thing. So for that actually वही बता रहे हैं कि 2002 से पहले इसका जो main idea था, why this law was came into effect, because international drug trafficking pose a grave threat to the economy of many countries. Of course, है ना. Then the background of the law is very important. तो background पर जा रहे हैं law के. So United Nations took serious note of this in 1988, held the UN Convention against illicit trafficking on narcotics, drugs and psychotropic substances. ठीक है भाई, मतलब नशीली पदार्थ कह दो. That's narcotic, drugs and psychotropic substance. In fact, in 1985, India passed a law also, NDPS Act, Narcotics, Drugs and Psychotropic Substance Act, under which NCB, Narcotics Control Bureau, was set up. So this is actually to fight drugs crime in India or drugs related thing, drugs business or related things. So all countries were urged to take urgent steps to prevent laundering of the proceeds, है ना. अब देखो ये दोनों connected होता है ना. Drugs trade is connected with the money laundering and all, है ना. So then of course in 1989 the Financial Action Task Force was also set up, है ना, in 1999, and it was an initiative of G7 nations. So what is the purpose of FATF? Of course, to prevent money laundering, and that's the main idea, money laundering and terror financing. So it's a sort of an international grouping, and to ensure that at the world level there should be no money laundering, terror financing, drug trafficking and all. So where is the headquarters of FATF? बताइए. Berlin, Paris, Rome, New York. Yes, it destroys youth and all. That's why drugs is dangerous, of course. So the right answer is Paris, France. So B is the right answer to this question. And the president is T. Rajakumar. He is an Indian origin person from Singapore. ठीक है. So ये भी पता होना चाहिए 1989, है ना. Yes, Ranvijay Singh, you are right. B is the right answer. अभी मैंने दिखाया भी था यहाँ पर Paris, July 1989 में this was set up है ना. So the major industrial nations, so basically here it is referring to the G7 nations have set up this है ना, to examine the problem of money laundering and tackle this menace, the big problem and all. ठीक है. Okay, thereafter in 1990 the UN General Assembly adopted a resolution, namely Political Declaration and Global Program of Action. हाँ हाँ, FATF के अंदर करेक्ट, FATF के अंदर दो लिस्ट होती है, ब्लैक लिस्ट एंड ग्रे लिस्ट. ठीक है, गुड. अच्छा ये बताओ ब्लैक लिस्ट के अंदर कौन से कंट्रीज है? आई थिंक देयर आर 3 कंट्रीज करेंटली. सो गो प्लीज आंसर इट, गो एंड फाइंड आउट एंड आंसर इट. ग्रे लिस्ट में तो बहुत सारी कंट्रीज है. ठीक है. So, which called upon all members countries to enact suitable pieces of legislation to effectively prevent money laundering. तो UN General Assembly ने resolution pass किया that all the nations should pass a law to effectively prevent money laundering and drug trafficking and all these things. ठीक है. So the government used the recommendation of FATF to formulate a legislation to make a law and all in this regard. And finally, actually, Prevention of Money Laundering Act was passed in 2002. तो वो अपना थोड़ा सा हिस्ट्री में जा रहे हैं. He's going little bit in history and all. ठीक है. तो okay, so this narration of the history law is necessary in order to emphasize the original objective and all. तो ये मेन मकसद जो था वो यही था. That is what he is talking about है ना. So the Act of 2002 contained a few offences listed in Indian Penal Code and Narcotics, Drugs, Psychotropic Substance Act. ठीक है. तो कुछ प्रोविजंस थे इसमें मेंशन थे. The UN resolution and FATF recommendations also focused on all. तो ये अपना डिटेल में नहीं जाना है. अब देखो जो एक आर्टिकल 253 अगर आप पढ़ोगे इसमें क्या बोलता है, इसमें it says that actually if an India has signed an international agreement, then for that the parliament can make a law on it even if it is a state subject, because parliament cannot make law on state subject, right? But there are some cases where even because state subject में state legislature law बनाएगा, but there are some exceptions in which even the parliament can make laws, and one of the exception is article 253 to give effect to international agreements. ठीक है. जैसे एनवायरमेंट प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट भी बनाया गया था, ये सब सारे जो है these all are actually made under article 253. ठीक है. because maybe some of that state subject would be covered, but still the parliament has power to make laws. तो 253 के अंदर में the law was made है ना. So to ensure the implementation of an international treaty and all है ना. ठीक है. So these are the things being talked about. अब इसमें जो मेन चीज है वो ये है कि section 45 of PMLA actually talks about giving bail. And इसमें भी यही बताया जा रहा है, इसमें इतना डिटेल नहीं जाना है, because once the Supreme Court actually upheld it on constitutional, then again it was Parliament actually restored this provision, then again it was challenged in the 3-judge bench, and 3-judge bench upheld this order. So finally आप ये समझ लो कि it is slightly difficult है ना, if under PMLA under section 45 to get bail actually है ना. तो ये सब आर्टिकल भी आई थी जो ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जो 3-judge bench order आया था in 2022. So many of them actually, many people criticized it, but yes, you should know this. Has bail under PMLA become near impossible? So Supreme Court changed view on 45 clause 1. So इसको थोड़ा पढ़ लीजिएगा after the class is over. Please read it because it is said the court must be satisfied that there are reasonable grounds for believing that the accused is not guilty of the offense and is not likely to commit any crime while out on bail. So these are the things, and then only the court can grant bail. तो ऐसा कहा जाता है. So the experts, the legal experts, says that it is likely difficult to get bail under and this provision and all. Okay, fine. So this was about it. Now side में एक article थी no man's land. Now no man's land, it is talking about the same Kachhatibu island. ठीक है. अब इसको we have already discussed it that actually the political disputes arose है ना. So we are not going in that political disputes, but just have an idea. Here is Kachhatibu island. ये पे Park Strait है. They can ask you where do you find so Park Strait between India and Sri Lanka है ना. तो ये सब हो सकता है पूछ ले. So just see the location and all. Okay, so then they are going in 2022. The External Affairs Ministry said that Kachhatibu lies on the Sri Lankan side of India-Sri Lanka international boundary line and all, and that is why. So these are the things कि External Affairs Ministry उस time पर ये कहा था कि वो India Sri Lanka के side ही lie करता है. So we are not going in that detail, ठीक है, because of course this is a slightly political dispute and all. So if you are watching the class, go in the description box. यहाँ पे one-on-one counseling session का link is there. Click on this link, you will get this Google form. Everyone should fill this Google form. ठीक है? You will get to know more about our courses and all. Okay, AI in elections, the good and the bad and the ugly. अब देखो, artificial intelligence is now actually, today's generation is now aware of this artificial intelligence. इसका good भी है, फायदा भी है, नुकसान भी है, और ugly बहुत ज़्यादा नुकसान भी है. Okay, ugly in the sense कि sometimes it becomes some worse. Okay, So he's giving some examples of artificial intelligence being used by politicians in the elections and all. And maybe it will be considered as first AI election in India. Because इससे पहले जब 2019 का इलेक्शन हुआ तो उस टाइम पर उतना आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस उतना नहीं था ना, अभी तो 1-2 साल में डेवलप हुआ है. So that is why it is being talked about. So every election over the past 3 decades, India's electoral strategy has changed due to the process of integration and capitalization in emerging technologies and all. ठीक है, तो वही बता रहे हैं कि over a period of time जो है इलेक्टोरल स्ट्रेटजी चेंज हुआ है, टेक्नोलॉजी आना शुरू हुआ. जैसे 2014 में 2019 में टेक्नोलॉजीज वेर यूज्ड, है ना. सो जैसे जैसे टेक्नोलॉजी इंप्रूव हो रहा है, सो मोर इंपॉर्टेंट है ना, मास मोबाइल फोन इलेक्शंस हैपेंड. पहले जमाने में मोबाइल फोन का यूज ही नहीं होता था बिकॉज था ही नहीं. सो ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम्स, है ना, एंड नाउ इवन इन 2024 वी आर सीइंग आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस बीइंग यूज्ड फॉर कैंपेनिंग एंड ऑल. ठीक है, सो सोशल मीडिया पोस्ट करने के लिए अब आपको पता होगा, जैसे अगर आप एआई से पोस्ट करोगे तो बहुत फास्ट पोस्ट कर सकते हो, है ना, on different social media platforms. You can generate, AI can generate the text. मान लो आपकी कोई पॉलिटिकल पार्टी XYZ, you tell the chat GPT कि आप हमको टेक्स्ट लिख के दे दो, प्लीज गिव मी टेक्स्ट, आई वांट टू फाइट इलेक्शन इन इंडिया, माय पॉलिटिकल पार्टी नेम इज XYZ, प्लीज गिव मी अ गुड स्पीच, तो ये लिख के दे देगा आपको, समथिंग लाइक दैट. सो ऑफ कोर्स प्लीज पोस्ट इट ऑन डिफरेंट सोशल मीडिया, सो विद द हेल्प ऑफ AI इट बिकम्स इजी, है ना. जैसे अर्लियर जो है पहले कहा जाता है 2014 इलेक्शंस हुआ था, सोशल मीडिया इलेक्शंस, फेसबुक इलेक्शन, बिकॉज दीज थिंग्स वेर यूज्ड, फेसबुक, सोशल मीडिया वेर यूज्ड इन इलेक्शन प्रोसेस एंड ऑल. सो दीज आर द थिंग्स बीइंग टॉक्ड अबाउट. ठीक है ना, तो ये उसका एग्जांपल्स वगैरह बता रहे हैं. So he's giving some examples that by the time Prime Minister Modi in 2014 took the office, he was having the 6th most followed global leader on Twitter. ठीक है, so उस टाइम पर, so these are the things being talked about. अब जो है वो AI के dangers को बता रहे हैं. So the positives is there, it will be very helpful in spreading the information and all. But at the same time, so he's giving an example, जैसे New Hampshire, you will find this in USA. ठीक है, voters answered a phone call from what sounded like US President Joe Biden. अब क्या है वही बता रहे, जैसे डीप फेक या ऑडियो को फेक किया सकता है ना, बिकॉज आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस कैन जनरेट टेक्स्ट, वीडियो, ऑडियो, सब एकदम सिमिलर, है ना. So the people thought that the US president is calling them, or their the voice was like that, and they responded it. It was a robocall actually. It was a robot which was calling it, made by the artificial intelligence, aimed at dissuading Democratic voters not to turn up to polling stations and all. Dissuading मतलब मना करना, discourage करना. So it appeared on the phone call that the president of USA, because he is also from the Democratic Party, है ना, he is calling the people and saying that do not come in the poll elections and no need to vote for our party or something like that. Now this is dangerous because this was actually a fake news, है ना. A fake audio call was generated through AI, and the problem with AI is that of course it copies to a almost near perfection. वो ऑडियो या वीडियो ऐसा बनाएगा कि आपको पता ही नहीं चलेगा. द कॉमन पीपल विल नॉट बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड. द एआई हैज पावर टू मेक एन ऑडियो और वीडियो, to make a fake audio or video in such a way that it is very difficult for the common people to understand that yes, this is a fake one. And this is of course a dangerous thing, because उससे fake audio से video से बहुत कुछ किया सकता है. It can of course it will impact the free and fair election process. So Anna, so these are the dangers associated with that. So 2 days before the parliamentary election in Slovakia, ये आपको मिलेगा यूरोप में, you will find Slovakia ना. In September 2023, recording conversation between a journalist and the leader of pro-NATO Progressive Slovakia Party was shared on Facebook, purportedly discussing methods of election manipulation. But later they said that it was faked and fact turned up proof of AI manipulation. फिर स्लोवाकिया में किस तरह हुआ था कि कोई फेक दो आदमी के बीच बात हो रहा था, है ना. So one of the is a journalist, one of them was actually a political party member, and that was came in the social media, but later on they said it is a fake. Sorry. So these are the things he's talking about. फिर deep fake इसमें क्या वीडियो ही को एडिट कर दिया था, वीडियो edited in such a way that it appears that person is speaking, but in reality no person is speaking. It is a fakely generated video and all. Okay, and that is why these things are being talked about. Then the political landscape is changing quickly due to Gen AI, है ना, generation AI, है ना, वही AI technology की वजह से. These are the things the author is talking about. ठीक है, मतलब dangers of AI से related बात कर रहे हैं, is raising the concern. फिर एक और आर्टिकल स्पीच दैट पुट इंडिया ऑन द ग्लोबल स्टेज. ये उतना इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, आप चाहो तो पढ़ सकते हो. इट्स टॉकिंग अबाउट द जवाहरलाल नेहरू स्पीच इन 1954 एंड ऑल. ठीक है, फिर एक 2 states a comparison on access to life saving C section surgery. अब देखो होता है क्या, C section cesarean सर्जरी होता है when actually a child birth is there is no possibility of childbirth happening through the natural process. the doctors actually has to go for C-section surgery or operation, what we call in normal terms. But what happens is sometimes होता क्या कि private hospital, because this is slightly costly, natural process से अगर if a child birth happens, it is slightly less costly है ना in hospitals, but C-section surgeries are slightly costly. So sometimes क्या होता है कि private hospitals, the doctors of the private hospital know that it should be done through natural process, but still they pressurize कि it should be done through C-section surgery because of commercial interest. एक चीज ये भी होती है and which should not happen. इसलिए आपने देखा होगा alarmingly high, especially in private hospitals. So if you talk about C-section surgery, it happens more in private hospitals as compared to the government hospitals, and perhaps the people say that it is because of commercial interest. Government hospital में commercial interest नहीं होता ना कि they want to earn more money, so they say कि okay, it should not be done through natural process, rather it should be done through C-section surgeries. तो ये भी होता है, ठीक है ना. According to WHO, access to hospitals are equipped to perform such procedures crucial and all. ठीक है, तो ये चीज है. So this is what the author is talking about. Okay, तो तमिलनाडु में बहुत ज्यादा है, too much है ना, C-section surgeries are happening and all. Ladakh protest a hunger for justice. Okay, ये भी मैंने we have already discussed it. You must be aware of this person, Sonam Wangchuk. He was in the fast for 21 days and later broke the fast and currently still protesting for the Ladakh and all. So Sonam Wangchuk is famous because there was a very famous film, Three Idiots, of Amir Khan, and that was made. The character was inspired. The main Amir Khan's character was inspired from this personality. Okay, he has won Magsaysay Award and other things and all. So this is the state of the Union Territory of Ladakh. So they are wanting statehood. That if there is a statehood, and they are wanting sixth schedule status. ये दो चीज मांग रहे हैं ना. Why? Because they believe that if they are given statehood, अगर उनको statehood मिल जाएगा, so they will have their own election and they will appoint their own chief ministers and all. And what about sixth schedule? Sixth schedule actually क्या होता है? इसमें ना under sixth schedule a lot of autonomy is given to the common autonomy to the masses है ना. जैसे वो लोग autonomic district council, autonomous district council is there and all, they can set up and all. The tribal areas in 4 states of Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura have been constituted autonomous district and all, है ना. So that is the benefit. So that is why they are demanding it, so that they can control or rule. I mean, the local people's say should be there as far as governance and administration is concerned. That is what they are talking about. फिर एक और आर्टिकल थी न्यूज में, एक्स डिप्लोमैट्स कॉशन ऑन कच्चा दिवू. डिप्लोमैट्स मतलब फॉरेन सर्विस ऑफिसर्स, एक्स IFS इंडियन फॉरेन सर्विस ऑफिसर्स. They are saying that the government should not talk much about Kacha Divu because it might, I can say, hamper the relationship with Sri Lanka and all. So these are the things. So it will damage the credibility of country and could be a self goal, says Shiv Shankar Menon. So Mr. Shiv Shankar Menon is actually, who is Shiv Shankar Menon? He was the National Security Advisor of India during Manmohan Singh time. ठीक है, so that is what you should be knowing it. And in 2010 से 2014 तक he served as National Security Advisor. Okay, है ना. कच्चा दीवू island we have discussed it. Supreme Court notice to Election Commission and plea to check EVM VVPAT counts. अच्छा, ये होता है EVM, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वोटिंग मशीन. आई होप यू आर अवेयर. इसको कहते हैं एक्चुअली EVM. मेन जो है मतलब ये दोनों मिला के होता है. दिस इज एक्चुअली EVM, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वोटिंग मशीन. ठीक है, और ये क्या डिब्बा है? ये डिब्बा को कहते हैं हम लोग VVPAT, है ना. सो इसको कहते हैं वोटर वेरीफाइबल पेपर ऑडिट ट्रायल. वोटर वेरीफाइबल पेपर ऑडिट ट्रायल. नाउ व्हाट इज दिस? इसमें होता क्या है? ये अब इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया आफ्टर, अर्लियर ओनली दिस वाज देयर. दिस इज EVM. अब इसमें मान लीजिए आपने किसी पार्टी को वोट किया, लेट्स से यू वोटेड फॉर अ पॉलिटिकल पार्टी. यहाँ पे बटन है, आपने दबाया तो यहाँ पे कुछ सिंबल होगा, ठीक है, तो ये रिकॉर्ड हो जाएगा यहाँ जाके. बट टू इंश्योर दैट यस, let's say I have voted for a political party X. मान ली कोई X political party है, जैसे I'm just giving example. So यहाँ पे उसका symbol बना हुआ होगा and let's say you went and press that button. तो आपको ये इंश्योर करना है, you want to ensure that yes, the EVM has recorded voting to X only and not to some other political party. तो यहाँ पर लिखा हुआ है स्क्रीन पर, ठीक है, you have voted for X political party और उसका symbol बना हुआ है, ठीक है. This will be there for 7 seconds. उसके बाद फिर अंदर चला के डब्बा में रखा जाता है कागज, ठीक है. सो दैट पेपर एक्चुअली गेट्स स्टोर्ड देयर. सो दे आर सेइंग जनरली क्या होता है, वो इसको जो दिस इज नॉट काउंटेड, उसमें मतलब जो काउंटिंग होता है When a recounting is done, generally whatever is recorded here, they are taken into account. However, in case of disputes, जब dispute होता है तो ये डब्बा खोला जाता है, फिर चेक किया जाता है कि whether this is matching with whatever is recorded here. Okay, so ये कह रहे हैं, the people have filed the Congress, I think have filed a petition that they are demanding that कि EVM और PVPAT का दोनों काउंट वेरीफाई किया जाए हर जगह. That is what this demand is. Okay, that it shows कि अच्छा आपने जो वोट किया है X पार्टी को, Y पार्टी को, P पार्टी को, Q पार्टी को, and it should be counted verified by opening this also. इसमें कागज में स्मॉल पेपर में लिखा हुआ होता है कि इतने लोगों को वोट मिला ना, X पार्टी को एक बंदे ने दिया, फिर दूसरे ने दिया, तीसरे ने दिया, like that. So they are actually demanding that this voting and this the data that is recorded here, this should be verified in each every cases. That is what, and for that the Supreme Court has issued notice to the Election Commission and all in this regard. Okay. So if you're watching this class, go in the description box. One-on-one counseling session is there. Click on this link. You will get this Google form. Everyone should fill this Google form. You will get to know more about our courses. So ये free session से कुछ free session आप देख सकते हो. 21st अप्रैल को 6 PM पे with अभिमन्यु sir, 24th अप्रैल को with अल्पा मैम, है ना, and 28th अप्रैल को also will be having a scholarship test 11 AM in the morning. So this is all about today's class. Please subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Telegram, and download the BYJU'S exam prep app. Thank you everyone. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.